Exclusively on the OysterLink Podcast, the fastest growing hospitality job platform in the US, Nicole and Will Buckman share their 15-year journey from a family driveway to a Michelin Star destination. They discuss the risks of leaving steady paychecks, the power of organic social media, and the importance of maintaining balance while holding a Michelin Star. Nicole and Will, thank you for joining us today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us.
To start, could you please introduce yourselves and tell us a bit about your career path?
I'm Nichole Buckman, and we've been doing this for 15 years. Before that, I was a stay-at-home mom, and before that, I worked in restaurants.
And I'm Will Buckman, and like she said, we've been doing this for quite a few years now. It started in our driveway while I was working for a telecommunications company. We started this job, this business in our driveway.
Can you tell me about this journey? I mean, what happened from the driveway to where you are today?
From the driveway, wow, it was a hobby. It started out as just a good excuse to be outside and enjoy nature and enjoy our kids playing. While we were doing all that, I was cooking food on the pits, and one thing led to another, and people started requesting that we cook food for them, and it was Nicole's idea to start charging people. She costed everything, made the website, made the menus, did all that stuff, and started advertising our services. And from there, it was a very short, probably 3 months before we were completely booked for the year, and we were talking about quitting my job and doing this full time. 15.
What was that moment where you felt that I can turn this hobby into a business and I can quit the steady paycheck?
Yeah, so that was maybe one of the scariest decisions of our lives, because we had 2 small children at home and we had a guaranteed paycheck. But we decided that we were going to bet on ourselves and that we had the wherewithal and the capabilities to get it done. And we took the leap. We also figured, we were young enough at the time to where we could bounce back if this didn't work out. As you know, hospitality is not the easiest career path to take, but we bet on ourselves and we put everything in. And we like to think that we are a success.
You are a success. You're one of the few restaurants that have a Michelin Star, like a barbecue restaurant with a Michelin Star.
Absolutely.
What was the biggest risk back then when you made that decision that I'm going to quit and I'm going to go all in?
You are having 2 small children.
Yeah, 2 small children and giving up, health benefits. I worked for a very large telecommunications company, and we had like I said, a guaranteed paycheck and pretty much all expense paid insurance. So that was the biggest risk, was walking away from a guarantee, for us.
Any lessons that you still bring today from that garage era?
Yeah, I think everything you do that leads up, everything that we did that led up to this point was, a building block or a stair step. Whether we knew it back then or not, every experience in life prepares you for where you are right now. I wouldn't trade it for anything. I met a lot of great people. We still have friends that still work for that company that we're still in contact to this day. But yeah, we learned a whole lot of teamwork and drive, and we were kind of like self-led in that industry anyways. We didn't have like a management team that followed us around, so we had to be, very productive on our own, and that helped out with this profession for sure.
The restaurant has held a Michelin Star for 2 years straight. What is the simplest roadmap to getting one?
I would say the simplest roadmap would be consistency. Yeah, for consistency. Focus on the customer, focus on your product, and don't sway from that. It's easy to cut corners when you get busy. It's easy to source cheap products because you're worried about cost. But the shortest, easiest way, the best answer we have is consistency and quality.
Yeah, like he said, not lowering your product quality because, prices have gone up, but to figure out other avenues of helping your costs stay down, just product as far as like to-go products and, how you send out your food and paper products and those kind of things versus cheapening what meat that you buy to a lower quality to help make up for it. Because I know it's really expensive right now, and I'm not saying that everybody can do that, but I'm just saying that if you're able to do that, then it's definitely somewhere to start.
At what point you realize that, okay, we made the right decision, and this is something that we can count on?
We have a lot of accolades through the years, and we were fortunate enough to garner some attention early on in our career in this industry. I think it was 6 months into our trailer, because we went from the driveway of our home to a trailer as a mobile food vendor, and it was probably 6 months into that journey that we were featured in the local newspaper. They gave us a full-page spread, and it kind of was a rocket ship from that point forward. We kind of knew that we were going to be able to make this work as long as we had our head in the game.
Focus on the customer, number one.
But when we opened the trailer, we had to make $300 a day to be able to pay our bills and buy food to serve the next day. 6 months later into that journey, we had lines leaving our trailer and going out to the street. And fortunately enough, that's never really wavered from that point forward. So for the last 14 and a half years, we knew that as long as we kept that commitment to ourselves, that we could be successful doing this. Not necessarily Michelin Star successful, but successful nonetheless.
That was really never something, that obviously barbecue hadn't been a thing in Michelin, so you never really...
We weren't expecting it.
Not at all. And you asked, about like being comfortable. So I don't think you should ever get too comfortable. I don't think you should ever get too comfortable in anything, because when you get too comfortable, then you get lackadaisical, and then you're like, oh, we're good. We don't. You got to stay at 25% uncomfortable. You know what I mean? So that you can say, I need to make sure that these things are right. My employees are doing the right things, all these things. Because nothing's 100% predictable. So, or 100% comfortable. You just have to work really hard and just maintain the best you can and do the best you can and be as consistent as you can and strive for 90%, 95%, because you can't please 100%.
You mentioned there was a local newspaper that featured your business. And today we're talking about social media that somehow replaced the classic media. So what's your relationship with social media?
Yeah, social media has always been our driving force. And Nicole has handled that from the start. Like I mentioned, nice. She started our website before we decided to quit my job. So she's always handled all of our social media, but that was really the driving force in getting the word out of our business. And still to this day, we have zero advertising budget. We've never invested in advertising outside of social media. It's all driven by social media.
Yeah. So the most we've paid $125, and that's when we were running it out of our house. And that was a small little ad in a local paper called Woodlands Online, and it was that's it. And that was in 2010. We've never done anything else. We base not doing any paid PR or anything like that, because we want to know that if we're staying busy and still getting accolades and everything, that we know we're still doing what we're supposed to be doing and staying on top of our game.
Then Nichole, can you give me one advice from your social media experience for new restaurateurs trying to promote their businesses?
Just a lot, like post a lot, and don't have your website connected to stuff, and it's a Facebook page. Like, have a website that lists stuff, that says what your menu is and everything, because having a link to Facebook from like Google that says website, you might not update it all the time. You might not put that you're closed, for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day and stuff like that. So that's a huge thing for me, is have a website, have a Facebook, have Instagram, or Twitter, whatever, TikTok, have all that stuff. Cross-post as much as you can. People love things that are cheesy and saucy and photos and stuff like that. They love videos. I wish we did videos more. It's just so busy. It's hard for us to get to it. That's something that we're going to start promoting more. Cross-post with other people. When you have customers who invite you to collaborate with them, and you like the photos and stuff, you think, hey, this looks really good. Collaborate with them. It doesn't matter if they have 300 followers, you know what I mean, or 25 followers. If they are posting about you and putting you out there for the world, even for their 10 friends, if that's what it is. 10 friends tell 20, tell 30, tell 100. So, collaborate with them. There's nothing wrong with that. Respond to all of the people who message you and, get back to them, even if it's just, your food was fantastic. Respond to that. They want that. They want to know that you as the owner, or, as the person that leads the restaurant is acknowledging that they come to your restaurant. They are what keeps you where you are. They are the ones that pay your employees and that pay our salaries. So they are the most important thing to anything is your customers. So acknowledge them.
Let me wrap up this conversation with a question about expanding. So expanding versus staying put. What's your take on that?
Staying put. We're owner operators. We expand it to a second location or a satellite location or a different concept. It would take focus away of what we're trying to do here. Nichole and I don't let the dollar rule what we do. We really are customer minded and food oriented. So our focus remains on that, and we don't want to take away from that.
Yeah, just the same thing as, people they ask why, we're closed Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Sunday, Mondays are our days off that, we haven't had in 10 years because we were only closed Sunday, Monday before. But we're closed Sunday, Monday, Tuesday because Sunday, Monday, we get to spend time together. We're here together all the time, but it's different. We also get to spend time with our children, which are the most important things in our lives. And then on Tuesdays, we work. We're in the restaurant working. It's not customer oriented. It's getting everything that they want, the customers want throughout the week. So that's, just to let everybody know, the reason that we do close those days, especially Sunday, Monday, is our kids are only going to be young for so long and want to spend all the time that they can with us. So that's important. And it's important in our relationship to stay grounded with each other and have date nights and all that stuff. So I think it's important to take that time.
Yeah, balance.
Very important.
But now I'm not surprised you have the Michelin Star for like 2 years in a row and hopefully the third year.
Yeah. Here's hoping, but it doesn't define us, but it is. We're very proud of that fact, obviously. But we haven't changed. We haven't changed before. We haven't changed because of it, and we refuse to. Like what led us to the Michelin, we recognize. So we're in a holding pattern, if that makes sense.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Cheers. Cheers, everybody. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Have a good day.